Welcome everyone to the water and sewer meeting for January 4th, 2022. Peter, you want to make a motion? We approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the meeting minutes from the previous meeting.
Okay, so moved. John Leodici called and he will not be at the meeting tonight. And we'll proceed. Water tank top inspection, Mike, is there anything more on that?
I talked to our guy TC, and he's more than happy to come out and do our annual inspections on both water tanks for us. And he will, I sent him the recommendations for the ceiling of some of the small little, cracks, I guess you'd call them. And he does that stuff. That's part of his job. So he'll come out, look at it, and he'll do all the sealing that the tank inspectors recommended last inspection, and he'll inspect our other tank, and he'll do that annually for us.
Okay, great.
Yep.
The Tuckerman Bridge, is there any movement on that, Mike?
Yeah, we got last week we got a 132-page report from Foresight Engineering with, I can't remember the gentleman's name. He's a engineer from the state, structural bridge inspector, and he does this stuff for. He's retired from the state, but he does this for the engineering firms, and it's quite an in-depth report. We are actually having a meeting Wednesday, I believe, with the engineers. And Mike and myself, and I can send the link around if anybody else wants to join the meeting. But it's going to be about the report, and they gave like 3 options to do the work. The bridge needs work before we can start.
So before anything happens.
Yeah, pretty much that's going to be the way it's going to be.
So this line may be postponed.
It might be, but I think what's going to happen is this will give us, at least the town, some a better look at what they need to do before. The bridge needs work no matter what, whether we put the water main on it or not, is basically, and Mike, and I know I've talked to Mike and Roxanne about it, they want to be proactive rather than reactive. These bridge reports come every 2 years. And the bridge it's got some stuff that needs to be dealt with, and they want to be preventative, do a lot of preventative maintenance on these bridges before they get in really disrepair. So
instead of what happened?
Yeah.
Historically, what happens?
Until it becomes a replacement, they want to do some work. So we'll see where that all ends up, and maybe there'll be something at town meeting to get the engineering started or whatever, to get the process started. So.
Okay.
I can forward you the report if anybody wants. It's actually pretty good reading, really. But
I don't know if you want 132 pages, but
yeah, but a lot of it is all math equations. like it's a good portion of it. It's pretty good reading, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Sure. All right. Park Street Pump Station, Tony.
Yeah. So. As I think we talked about at the last meeting, we've had the plans for about a month now, and meeting on Thursday with the engineer to finalize things. And I think Mike Canales has had time, hopefully has had time to review the bid documents that Dave Prickett Engineering has provided, just to make sure everything looks good from the town standpoint. And we're ready to almost go out to bid. And I think the bid opening is scheduled for February 16th. So.
Good.
That's the plan.
Good. Next spring, go ahead, huh?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything goes as planned here.
Okay. The steering committee, was there a meeting, Mike?
Yeah, we're meeting only once a month now.
That's what I thought.
And there's really not a whole lot going on. We're actually just kind of working on a lake management plan. So that's really the only thing that we have in the iron that's in the fire right now is working as a committee, as we are, to give whatever engineers do this lake management plan a little synopsis of what we would like to see in it. I'm sure the DEP has kind of templates, but everybody's kind of we're giving our 2 cents basically, that what we would like to see, because, we're involved with it all. So that's pretty much where we're at. There's obviously no testing going on or anything like that. So.
Yeah, so we're all done with that.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Sump pumps.
You skipped Park Street. Park
sorry?
Street, some pumps.
You skipped over one.
I did.
This
I
one?
did, some pumps.
No big deal. But anyway, just to give you, the letter's gone out that we're going to do the inspections. I've kind of held off because of the fact with all this COVID and everything. I don't know if people are going to have to make an appointment. And I have to, I don't know if people are going to be comfortable at this point in time with right after the holidays and things like that. But we have noticed that since we have sent these letters out, things have slowed down.
Funny thing about that.
What's that?
Funny thing about that.
Yes.
Good, good.
So, I would still like to follow through with it. I just don't want to make residents uncomfortable, put them in an uncomfortable spot in ourselves as well.
You know what, Tony, I think that's a good idea with what's happening in New Year's and Christmas.
Yeah, I think we're just
Give it a
going
break.
to just kind of punt on that for now,
Yeah,
the actual inspections,
I think that sounds,
due to what's going on with the pandemic and everything. I just don't want to have get anybody nervous about that and calling town hall and thinking maybe we shouldn't enter their home or whatever. It's kind of a weird time.
yeah. Sounds
Yep,
good.
you're
Okay.
right.
Budgets and special articles. This is usually the time of the budgets, and Mike talked to you guys at all about budgets or when they'd be in?
Not yet, but it's usually February or so.
Well, we're going to we meet once a month, every second Tuesday. And I think that's kind of what we're going to start thinking about at our next meeting.
Okay, do you have any ideas of your special articles at all, or?
Don't at the moment.
Okay,
I don't have anything big, if it's anything at all. I do have a couple, we talked about it, like I'm going to have to create a new line item for testing for the new permit and stuff like that. But then I think that's going to be at the most like $10,000 increase or something like that.
what about our sledge contract? We have another year or two on that?
No, we don't. I have that written down on
Okay.
the last concerns here, but since you brought it up, we're in the third year of our contract. So our contract is up with our sledge hauler on June 30th. So I will be contacting him, I will be contacting him to let us know that we're going to be going out to bid sometime probably in March or something like that, just so we have plenty of time to prepare if we have to increase something for town meeting or whatever.
Now, he kept the line item the same, didn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't raised the price in
Great.
10 years or something
Yeah.
like that, or at least 3 bidding cycles.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll stay true and on course, and that'd be great.
Keep your fingers crossed, but everything's gone up.
Right, so yeah, I mean, I don't see,
His costs have gone up.
they probably have trucking and things like that, so, we'll see. I don't think it's going to break us if it does go up a bit, but, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, just a couple quick things. I was going to just talk about the Averitt Road people very briefly. There's a small coalition of people up there that are trying to find out if it's feasible for them to connect to the sewer, not through either through the Averitt Road, 183 Averitt Road intersection at the moment. That's what's on the docket. They've hired. They've actually haven't hired anybody. They're getting prices from engineering firms to see if it's feasible to do and affordable for them. And I'm sure at some point they'll be coming either in here or on Zoom to talk to you guys about what they want to do there.
Yeah, I've got that first foresight proposal, and there's going to be another one coming out. I think Paul Sundberg is obviously the one spearheading this, and we're looking at what we're talking about, 10 homes. And,
Yeah, it could be up to 10, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many people are total agreement with it so far, but there's interest in this.
I think there's enough interest where if the cost is palatable, that they could possibly want to come before the board and
Yep,
get permission to move forward.
that's fine. Yep, sounds good to me. Good. Mike?
I have a bunch of special articles jotted down. I don't, Tuckerman Bridge is obviously a question at this point. I don't know if we wanted to go through last year, we were gonna try to update the water, and sewer billing software. I think that was gonna be like $7,000 a piece. We were gonna try to do it through, leftover budget money, carryover, but if we wanna put it on a special article to upgrade it, that's one. And, the one thing I would really like to do is, the, engineers at GZA that we work with the Stockbridge bowl testing are giving me a budget number on doing the bathymetry and the safe yield on the reservoir. So that's one thing we really need to get done.
They want us to do that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure when we finally get this sanitary survey that they're going to want us to have because I handed that safe yield in that we had done to DEP and they're not going to accept it as a true number. So I think that's going to be probably in the $15,000 range, something like that. Our surplus, as we know, is very, very healthy at $670,000. So clear well cleaning is only $3,700. I'm pretty sure we can just handle that within the budget. We don't need to put a special article out for that. And the other one is that hydropower feasibility study. They're going to give me a number. The raw water flows from the reservoir to the plant via gravity, and it'd be really a neat project if we could make power with it and some renewables and energy. And the engineers at actually Weston and Sampson. When I was on that class that I was looking at, or when I was a speaker on our heat project at the water plant, another person talked from I don't know why I keep saying Smith and Loveless, but Weston and Sampson, and they had a really neat project they did in one of the towns out more easterly of us with this same thing. They call it's PAT, it's pump as turbine. So I don't know if it's going to work, but I guess we kind of need to know if it is going to. If it's a viable project to look into. They're getting me a budget number. So I think it's going to be like a $9,000 or $10,000 thing.
Is there any grant money at all?
Oh, if this goes through, there's a lot. I don't know if there is for the actual study. I will look into that because I pretty well connected with Mike at DEP, and they do all that department. The DOER does a lot of funding.
Right.
And if it is a feasible project to do, there'll be a lot of funding available, just like when we did the water source heat pumps in the plant. I think we had to put $5,000 out of our own money, and they paid 40-something thousand for the rest of it. So
Yeah.
Money well spent.
really good grants there.
I think that's pretty exciting if that works.
Mike, just curious, what's the difference in elevation between the?
We have about 30 or 35 PSI at the treatment plant. So that would be.
And that's on a 10-inch or 12-inch?
That's 10-inch.
10-inch.
Yeah. And actually, it's 10-inch across the swamp, and most of all the water main that's run down 183 and 102 is 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing that when I was talking to the guy at Weston and Sampson, is the engineer that worked on this project, this other town's project, was, of course, the energy has to go somewhere, so it takes a lot of pressure. The pressure that turns the turbine, you lose a lot on the downstream side, which has to obviously flow to the plant. But we have a pressure reducer in the treatment plant, so we don't want to see that full 30 pounds on the filters and the clarifiers. So that's what they would be looking at.
So you tweak that.
Yeah, so that would be the thing where we would see if there's, if it can be done.
Yeah, cool.
So it'd be a really neat project to
Certainly would.
do that.
Yeah.
And I think you have a lot of support.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, certainly have. my support on
Oh, yeah,
Don's,
sure, I'm
but
sure
I mean,
Don too.
in the community.
Yeah.
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 And then the only other thing, we have just down at the water plant where the main power comes into the treatment plant. I have our electricians are looking into, we're going to have to shut the power off to both plants. The big 90-degree fitting that goes in the water plant, the LB, it's in steel, and then the LB is aluminum. It cracked, and there's about 1.5 inch gap where the main feed goes into the water plant, and you can see the wires in there. So they have to shut the plant down. We'll run it on generator, and the wastewater plant would run on generator too, because one feed feeds both plants, and pull all the wires out of the mold control center, replace that aluminum LB, and then run the wires back in and reconnect. So I've been in contact with Grid, and they just said they just needed a date and time when they want us to shut it off, and they'll pull the fuses across the street on the pole so it
So
kills.
they'll do that.
Our electricians will replace. They'll kill the power for us, but the Grid is not going to do the work. Our Eloise will do that for us. That'll be a cost to us, but we got to get it fixed. I mean,
You should do that now.
we're trying to. Yes,
Okay.
trying to
Yeah.
get it done since summer.
Yeah.
I keep pressuring him to get it done. So he said it's about a 4-hour job. So that's one thing we're just waiting to hear when he wants to do it, and then we'll get it done.
Okay.
And you get some of that Flex Seal.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, with that little tape and tape.
I have a roll of zip tape at home, and I was going to put some around it because I was weed whacking, and I just looked up for some reason when I was weed whacking around the pipe, and I was like, "Whoa!" It was an eye opener. I mean,
I
obviously,
see wires in there, yeah.
no, the it's 3-phase 480. I mean, not that a kid's going to reach in there or anybody's going to get, but it needs to get fixed. So.
Sure.
Sounds good. Okay, Peter, you have anything?
No, I don't.
And we did today, Timmy Mink, we did the water service. Danny Clark did the water service for Timmy Minkler's son's new house. It's off the DeSisto line. I helped those guys with the tap. We didn't, it's a water customer of ours, but that went smooth. Everything's hooked up, meter pit's in. The water's not on yet. I don't know when they're going to need water, but I've been in contact with the plumber, and so that went in. So
Now, that pit has been rebuilt, right?
no, that's DeSisto's pump station.
Right, but that pump station, didn't they rebuild part of that, or at least made it?
They did some work inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Which I think I alluded to on the last meeting. We're going to probably be seeing something. We're responsible for the water to every last free-flowing tap in the water system, including, obviously, the DeSisto line. I think we're going to see something in the sanitary survey report once we finally get it, that we're going to need to be a little more involved with how that thing is operated.
The whole thing.
So stay tuned until we get the report. I know that all DEP employees are working from home. They have been for 2 years.
Really?
They go out and do the inspections. They go back. I don't think anybody's been in the Dwight Street offices in 2 years.
Right.
So it's taken some time for the guys to get the reports out. They have not many people, and they got a lot of water systems to inspect. So
Now, I went by there the other night, the mansion, and there's lights on all over there.
Oh, yeah.
the outdoor lights,
Interior,
interior. Huh.
there are a whole bunch of lights inside.
Yeah, I don't know. Must run timers. I don't know if there's.
But it was,
The old cafeteria building out behind is like some offices are set up there. But the main mansion, I didn't.
no, the mansion, this was a mansion.
Huh.
Who knows? Maybe something's happening. So with that, Peter, you want to make a motion?
I move that we adjourn for January.
So moved. Thank you, everyone.